Hello, everybody. It's Captain Marty here, and it is Thursday, September the 12th. A lot of stuff to talk about on the fishing front, and glad we're not in the Gulf of Mexico, really. That would have put a damper on some fishing, but we've had good weather, good fishing, and I'll tell you all about it when I come back in just a moment.
Welding. It's ultimately the use of lightning to fuse metals and steel together. And at Wanchie's Metalworks, that's what they do best. Specializing in marine fabrication and repair on sport and commercial fishing vessels, Wanchie's Metalworks does fuel tank fabrication, rod racks, rocket launchers, T-tops, towers, struts, rudders, trim tabs, and green sticks, just to name a few. They also do interior and exterior handrails and stainless kitchen work too. Whether it's MIG and TIG or arc welding, Wanchie's Metalworks does it all. They're the realest of the real when it comes to metal and steel. Wanchie's Metalworks, 102 CB Daniels Road, Wanchie's. At Fishing Unlimited on the Nags Head Manio Causeway, not only can you get stocked up with all the bait, tackle, and amenities necessary to fish, but you can also be your own captain. That's right. At Fishing Unlimited, you can rent one of their spacious pontoon boats to go fishing, crabbing, dolphin watching, or just to cruise the Roanoke Sound. It's family fun at its finest. Half-day and full-day rentals are available. Be your own captain at Fishing Unlimited on the Nags Head Manio Causeway.
We come back to a report that is very much the same as it has been. It's very consistent. We have a lot of variety in our catches. We do have some stuff that's really on the good end, but what this time of year mostly is, I would call this, if you say across the board, offshore, inshore, backcountry, and everything else, I would say that it's pretty darn good for late August, early September fishing, and has been that way for a while. The Hatteras fleet has been having really good blackfin tuna fishing. They're catching the dolphin, mostly bailers or mahi, whatever you want to call them, and doing well with those. And then they get a big wahoo. I think most in a few catches, I would say that to me, the wahoo bite in Hatteras this year has been off a little bit. I call Hatteras the wahoo capital of the world. They've had some good days, but do you remember last year there were some days when they had 11, 12 wahoo to the boat? And if that has happened this year, I missed it somewhere. But when I was growing up, to catch a wahoo on a sport fishing boat was just about unheard of in Florida where I grew up. So it is definitely a trophy fish, a lot of fun to catch. One of the fastest fish in the ocean, swims 60 miles an hour. Really, really, really good to eat. There's a lot of different ways you can cook it. And wahoo salad, oh my gosh, it's to die for. Their inshore boats out there have been catching some big bluefish. They've been doing some bottom fishing, catching a little bit of everything, really. They always have a group of guys that will take you out there and fish on the wrecks. Rick Caton, Patrick Caton, and others will be happy to do that, to accommodate you if you like that kind of fishing. At Oregon Inlet, really still good dolphin fishing, decent blue marlin and white marlin bite. And when I say Oregon Inlet, I mean all the fleet fishing out of Oregon Inlet, going through the inlet. That would be Oregon Inlet Fishing Center. It would be Pirates Cove. It would be all the marinas in Wanchie's Harbor. That includes just about everybody, really. But they had good dolphin fishing. Anything you find floating right now has the dolphin around. They love to hang around. I saw David Daniels had a little post about finding a buoy, a radar tracking buoy out there, and he got a good catch of dolphin around that. There was some billfish improvement. I saw one boat and couldn't tell what boat it was. All I know is that Pirates Cove, but they had a blue marlin and 6 white marlin. That's a really good day of fishing, and there was a pretty good bite on the blues and the whites. The sail fishing seems to have tapered back a little bit. Their inshore boats for all of our Oregon Inlet guys are catching mostly ribbon fish and bluefish, but there's also some cobia. The cobia, as they're filtering down out of the Chesapeake Bay, are coming by. So every once in a while, somebody's getting into one of those. Also a big drum or two around the inlets. These guys know what to look for and how to catch them. It's always the best way to learn is to go with a professional until you can figure out how that works. Pier fishing it's the time of year when the big drum bite is on at night. But in addition to that, there's been some of these 5 to 8 pound and even bigger 12-pound bluefish. That really is encouraging to me because I'm seeing them in Hatteras, I'm seeing them in Ocracoke, seeing them in the Oregon Inlet catches, I'm seeing them back in the Pamlico Sound. You know, they used to be the lifeblood of our fleet back in its early days. Then they disappeared almost entirely. and now they seem to be making a comeback, which is great. Because at that size they're catching now, those 5 to 8 pounders are really good eating, really good in a smoker, a lot of fun to catch. That's just something, that we're really proud of. The drum bite on the end of the piers at night, yes, it's more for the connoisseurs. Yes, there's some etiquette that you need to learn about before you attempt it, but anybody can go out and watch at night. It's a great way right around dark to go out there, especially if it gets a little choppy, because they love that. So keep that in mind. In the surf, a nice, what I call a summer mix. A few pompano, a few spots. The bluefish I've been talking about, a scattered black drum. Of course, you could catch just about anything, but it's a nice mix right now, and the weather has been good. So we'll take a little break right here, and I'll be back to talk to you a little bit about what's going on in the backcountry.
Join the crew of the Miss Oregon Inlet 2 for an Outer Banks fishing trip that's fun for the whole family. Located at the Oregon Inlet Fishing Center and running 3 trips a day, their spacious 60-foot headboat can accommodate up to 65 people. The Miss Oregon Inlet 2 crew can get you all rigged up to catch a variety of fish in the ocean and the Sound, but they're famously known as the Flounder Pounder. For more information on how you can hop aboard, go online to MissOregonInlet.com. The Miss Oregon Inlet 2, an Outer Banks experience that's sure to create a lifetime of memories.
In the backcountry, we have been talking about speckled trout all summer, but now there's some gray trout in the catches as well. And the drum bite that we talk about so much has been going on. Now, is it red hot drum fishing? Depends on where you're at. But these fish migrate around on these shoals. They feed up and down the shoals. They're eating the shrimp. They're eating the blue crabs. This time of year, you could go to a shoal and not get a bite and think, Marty said the Sound was full of drum. Well, first of all, I didn't say the Sound was full of drum, but there is a lot of areas, a widespread area from down back of Ocracoke all the way up to Roanoke Island and back of all the inlets. The red drum bite is good, but you could go back to that same shoal where you didn't have a bite the following day, and you could go out there and nail them because you just happen to be there at the right time. And when those fish feed up and down the shoals, if you have the right bait, a good fresh piece of mullet, oh man, you're in the tall cotton. Also heard from a good source yesterday, some of the headboat fishing is very good in the Sound. That seemed to improve. I think I heard Randy Freeze on the Miss Oregon Inlet say when I hollered at him from the dock yesterday that he was going to go ribbon fishing outside the inlet. So that may be something new for headboats. By the way, I had some ribbon fish for lunch yesterday. It was really good. Really good. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And the thing about it that I notice is, like most mackerels that you cook them with the skin on, you peel the skin off, the meat just flakes away. The ribbon fish, the skin, the meat hangs onto the skin. They do cook it with the skin on. There's no scales involved, but you could actually eat your bite of ribbon fish fried with the skin attached, and the skin did not have a fishy flavor or texture at all. You wouldn't even, if you were blindfolded, you'd have never known you were eating a piece of fish skin, which is like the kiss of death for some people. Anyway, it was really, really good. So there's a lot of ribbon fish around the inlet, just outside the inlet. And that's a fish, don't forget, that I never caught in all my career as a fisherman. That's something new, something nice. Other than the gray trout and the speckled trout and the drum bite, of course, we still have the sheephead bite going on. Another really good year for sheephead fishing. There's some great wading opportunities. Don't forget that. On the backside of Hatteras Island is one of the best places. One of my favorite kind of fishing in the whole world is put on a pair of old tennis shoes, because you don't need waders right now, but you do need something on your feet. Get you a popping cork rigged up, or if you don't want to do that, get a MirrOlure. If you don't want to do that, just get a grub and a jig head and go to those. Make sure you're careful about where you park, but around the tri-villages and in Avon, get back on the Sound side and just wade the shoreline. You're standing a real good chance of catching a puppy drum or a speckled trout or a bluefish. So that would be my fishing recommendation for the day, and that is my fishing report for you as we work towards the weekend. Really thankful that we're not dodging a hurricane, at least not yet. Have a great day. Go out and do some fishing, and God bless you.